Yeah, welcome back to my class again today. Now, in the last class, I gave you an introduction into a thread. Now, in this class, what I want to show you is the task that the thread is going to perform. So without wasting much time, let's get right in. So I'm going to define I'm going to create the same class that I did and then the thread. But this time around, where I use the past statement, I'm going to now introduce a task and then I'm going to define that task that the thread is going to perform. That's what I want to do in this class. Okay, now, um, okay, I don't know if you are seeing me, but if you are not, at least you will see my hand and you see the board. Okay, so let's create our task here. The first thing we'll do is we import, right? We import trading, the trading module. We import the trading module, and then I'm also going to import another thing here. I'm also going to import time, right? I'm also going to import time. Then I'm going to create a variable, which is what? A global variable, and I will call it exit flag, and I will assign 0 to it, right? Then I will now create my class, which is what? Class, and in this class, I will call it my thread, right? My thread, which is now going to inherit from the parent class, which is what? Threading dot thread. So this thread is inside this threading module. Now I'm going to initialize this by saying self define double underscore init, and then self, then the first one is what? Thread ID. Then I'll give it a thread name, and then I'm also going to introduce something here, delay. You'll understand what that is. Then inside it, I'm going to call my thread parent, which is what? Threading dot thread dot double underscore init, then self, which is what? I'm calling my ancestor. I'm calling this thread. So this, my thread, is going to awaken this thread because I will need a function, I will need a method inside this thread to use in this process. So that's what I've done here. Then I will now say self dot thread ID. I will assign this thread ID to it. Then here I will say self dot name. Then I will assign name to it. Then I will say self. So I'm creating the attribute of this my thread. Self dot delay, and I'm going to assign delay to it. Okay, so I have created this attribute. Now, still inside this my class, I'm going to create a run method. So def run, and then I'm going to send the instance. Now, inside this my run method is what is where I want to perform the task. So the first one is I'll say print. Now, I'm going to supply my string literal, which is f. Then I will say starting. Then I will call this, which is what? Self.name. And I'll close it. And I'll close my string. Then I'll close the parentheses. Now, in this place, in the last class, I introduced a pass statement. But in this class now, I'm actually going to call the task. So the task, I'm calling it. My task name will be what? I'm going to write my task here. I'm going to write my task here. So my task name, I'm going to say that the task name is what? Print underscore time. This is my task name, right? So now I want to create the task. I'll call it here, but let me create it here first. So in this place, I will say self um, um, thread name. That is what I'm supplying. Thread name, comma. Then I'm supplying counter, and then I'm supplying delay. Right? This is my task. So inside this my task, I am going to bring in this exit flag because this is a function. So print is actually defined, right? Def print time. Inside this my task, I'm going to bring in this exit flag. So I will say global exit flag, right? I'm defining it here so that I'll be able to manipulate it. Then to do this job, what I want is I want this my task to print out the current time of the computer. And I want it to print it out 5 times. That is what I want. So to achieve that, I will need a loop. So I'm going to introduce my while loop. So while, then what am I going to use to control this while loop? I'm going to use this counter to control it. So while counter going, then if exit flag, right, break. Now this break statement means exit the loop. If exit flag break, but if it is not exit flag, if this counter is not equals to exit flag is 0. So if the counter is not equals to exit flag, continue the process. Do not come out of the loop. So what will be the process? The first thing I will do here is I will say time dot sleep. Then I will supply delay to it. So this thing will sleep for the number of seconds that I'm going to supply. That is what this means. So this time, that is why I imported the time here, the time module. So this sleep method is inside this time module. So I'm calling this sleep method to enable my program to sleep for a particular period of time before the next iteration. That is what I'm doing here. Now, what do I want it to perform? What I want to perform is what I want it to perform is what? Print, right? Now I'm going to call my format string. What is that format string? This, then I'll say percentage S is a placeholder. Then I'll put colon. So I want something to be printed here, then another thing. Then I will say another percentage S, right? Then I will close this. This is the format string. Then I will call an operator. This is an operator. So this operator is going to display, is going to take what I will put here and put it here. So this place, I will say what? Thread name. This thread name, right? Thread name, comma. Now, you will not be able to see what I will write here. So what should be here is what I'm going to write under this place. Please take note. So what I want to write now is time dot see time. Now, this is a method also inside this time module. This is current time. Now, it's going to show me the current time, but this is not what the first one. So inside this method, I'm going to call another time function. I will say time dot time, right? Then 1, 2, 3. So this is for this is for this one is for this, then this one, I will cover it. I hope you can still see the last closing closing parenthesis. So I have 4 closing parentheses, 1, 2, 3, 4, because I have opening parentheses, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I should have 4 closing parentheses. Now, then under it, I will say count minus assignment 1. So what does this mean? Counter, sorry, counter. minus assignment operator 1. So what this means is, after this line of printing out, after printing out this, then the counter will reduce by 1. So whatever the counter will be, if the counter is 5, then it will reduce by 1 to become 4. Then it will come back here and check, right? So this is my task that I'm going to perform. This is the task. Now, let's come back to this place. Let's come back here. So this task now, I'm going to call it here. I will now say print time, print underscore time, right? Now, in parentheses, I'll put in what? Thread name. So this one, because I am inside this place, this thread name will be what? Self dot name, right? Comma. So this one will be given to this place. Counter, I'm going to just put 5 there. Then this delay will be what? Self dot delay, right? So when I call this my print time, I'm going to supply self dot name to it, which will be this. I'm going to supply 5 to the counter. I'm going to supply self dot delay to what? To this delay. Now I have this. Then here I'm going to print. I will call my format string again, and I will say exiting, exiting. Then I will do this self dot name. Then I will close the curly bracket, close this, and then this. Now I'm going to close this here. So this is my task, right? This is my task. This is my thread class that I've created, which is complete. So this is my class. This is my class. Now I am going to create an instance of this class, meaning I'm going to create the object, the thread itself. The thread that will carry out this task, I'm going to create it because this is a class. So to create the thread, let me come here. What I'm going to write here now should be under here, but because you can't see again, that's why I'm bringing it here. So I will now say thread, right? And then I'll call this my thread, which is the constructor, my thread, right? Then I will supply the parameters to it, which is what? My thread, the threading, then thread ID, I'll give it 1. Then thread name, I'll call it thread thread 1. I'll call it thread 1, comma. So you will not be able to see that part. Then the delay. This delay, um, this delay, I will put it as 1. I don't think you are seeing that part. So I'm putting this parenthesis here. I don't think you can still see that part. Let me see if I can come in more. I don't think you can see that part. So I'm just going to do this. All right. So yeah, I want to create my thread. So this place I will say thread. Let me make this lowercase. Thread. Then my thread. I'm calling the constructor, and I'm supplying the parameters, which is the first one, which is what? Thread ID 1. Then thread name, I will say thread 1, right? Then the delay 1 second. So that is it. Now I have done that. Since I've created the thread, so I'm using this thread object now to call my start method, which is my start method. So this is my start method. Now I told you in the last class that you are not seeing the start method here. But the reason why you can call this start method, which is in the parent class, which is in this parent class, is because of this line. It's because of this line. Because of this line. If I didn't do this, which is calling my ancestor, which is what? Calling the parent class of the thread, I will not be able to call this start method. It will throw me an assertion error. I've explained that in the last class. So now I have called the thread. The moment I call this thread, the moment I start this control will go to this guy from this line. Now I've created my thread. So I have started the thread. Control will come here. Once control gets here, it will print out starting thread name. And what is what? What is the thread name? Because this one will be given to thread ID. Thread 1 will be given to name. 1 will be given to delay. So this will be stored here. Thread ID 1, thread name, name thread 1, delay 1. That will be stored here. So the moment I call this start, it will come what to what? To this run. In this run, it will now print starting thread 1 on the board. Then it will come to this next line, print time. Now it is calling this method. At this stage, control will now move. Control will move to this guy, right? From here, control will move to this guy. Once control gets here, inside this print time, self.name, which is what? Thread 1 that was stored here, will be assigned to this variable. Then 5, which is the counter, will be assigned to this counter. Then self.delay, which is this one, will be assigned to this place. So control is inside this place. It will come in. Global exit flag is calling this exit flag into this place as global. Now, while counter is 5, it will go in. If exit flag, if the counter is equals to 0, then it will break. It will go in and exit the loop. But at this stage now, counter is 5. Counter is not 0. It will come in here. It will sleep for what? Delay, which is what? It will sleep for 1 second. Then it will print out thread name, which is what? Thread 1. Then it will print out the current time. This one is the function that is going to print out the current time in seconds. So you will not be able to understand that seconds. It will now take that value and give it to this C time, which is this current time too. This one will now convert it to an understandable format, which is what? July 28, 2024. That is what will happen. Then it will reduce the counter by 1. So this 5 will reduce to 4. Then it will come back here. It will repeat the step like that for 5 times. When it comes back, counter will now be what? Equals to 0, which is the same thing as what? Exit flag. It will go in and it will come out of the loop. That is what this program is expected to do. So I'm creating a thread, and the thread is going to perform this task. So let's go to PyCharm, and let me show you. This is actually long. So on the PyCharm, I've written the program. I'm just going to execute it for you to see what the output will be like. If you have come with me this far, please don't forget to click on the like button. And you can also help me to share this video. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. You can equally follow me on my Facebook page. Do all this to encourage me as I continue to give you this lecture on Python and many more. So let's go to the PyCharm and let me demonstrate this program on the PyCharm for you to see the output. This is our PyCharm. Like I said, I've actually written the program, so I'm just going to execute it for you to see. Now, just to run through it, now we are importing the threading module, we are importing the time module, and then we are declaring the global variable, which is what? Exit flag, and we are setting it to 0. Then we are creating our class here. I've explained that on the board. Now, this is the run method that is inside the class. Now, this is the task that the class, the thread is expected to perform. So as you can see, I am bringing the exit flag as a global variable inside this function because I want to be able to manipulate it. Then I have my while counter, while loop. Then I'm using the counter to control it. So it goes in to check the exit flag with the counter. If it is the same, then it will exit, it will break, meaning it will exit the loop. Now else, it will print out this. Now we have my string. This percentage is an operator that is going to take this thread name and assign it to the first percentage s. Then this one will be assigned to the second one. Then to reduce the counter. So this is my thread. Okay, in this one I actually put 3. So I'm going to put 1 here for you to see, and I'm going to execute it. So can you see Sunday, July 28? Then the time is 17, 20, and then you can see 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just 1 second interval. Then it will now return back to what? Exiting thread 1. Now I'm going to change this time to what? To 2. I'm going to execute it again. So watch the time interval. 30 to be 32 next. Next one will be 34. Next one will be 36. Next one will be 38. And to exit the loop. So you can see that. So that is how you control it. Now that is what I want to show you in this program. Now in other programs, this task will be much than this. So but just to show you how to create a thread and how that thread can perform a task. So this is the task. The task is actually what? A function. That is what the task is. So if you have come with me this far, don't forget to click on the like button. Also help to share this video. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. You can equally follow me on my Facebook page. So till we see in the next class, bye-bye.